Any moment now. For now, though, we want to cross over to Mombasa. We understand that the Senator Hassan Omar is currently giving a press address. Let's just listen into that.
Challenges and crisis, and we are good people, like some of you, fold up their arms and do nothing about it. It is my hope that within your New Year's resolution of 2017, this is the year which each and every one of you will stand up to be counted. One, you are following the visitors we had in this county over the last 1 month. All of them point to one fact, that the county of Mombasa is extremely filthy. So I want to link to you what the filth of corruption, or the nexus of the filth of corruption to service delivery. Why it is filthy? Because somebody is stealing. The county is filthy because somebody is stealing. So as I said, prosecute the filth in the garbage filth collection procurement process in Mombasa. Over the last 4 to 5 weeks, our visitors have complained about all sorts of things. We have hosted thousands of visitors who have flocked our county. In early December 2016, you will all recall, Mombasa played host to the 7th edition of the East African Community Interparliamentary Games, bringing together legislators from the parliaments of Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and the East African Legislative Assembly, IALA. During the same period of December, hotel occupancy in Mombasa was at 100% and business was booming, as is often the case for Mombasa in this month. All the visitors I spoke to seem to confirm the UN cry of the residents of Mombasa County that the county, despite its beautiful beaches and other attractions, is filthy. Like many residents of Mombasa, I have sought to establish why the county government has been unable to keep the county clean, failing in its most basic obligation for the last 4 years, despite huge investment in the area. Through officials of the county government and information shared to me and other agencies and authorities last month, I have established the following. One, that the county government irregularly allocated the contract for the collection of garbage through single sourcing in contravention of the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015 to a company whose directors are believed to be close associations or confidants of the county governor. Two, that the said company has irregularly paid a sum of Kenya shillings 300 million annually for garbage collection. In fact, the other figures put it at 42 million a month, which will take the sum way above the 300 million. But I quote this sum because this is the award sum that is further supported by the Auditor General's report for the year ended 30 June 2015. Thirdly, that it cannot be demonstrated as to how the annual payment of the sum of Kenya shillings 300 million was arrived at as payment to the said company, as the procedure for procurement for such services was not followed. How do you allocate 300 million? What basis did you use? What were the areas of technicalities? If I come to you and I tell you, as a journalist, I want you to provide for me services in photography or documentation, I just can't pay you off the air. There's a certain model. So how did they arrive to that figure? But sadly, the matter has been a subject of investigations by the ESCC for the past 2 years, and despite incontrovertible evidence before the ESCC, there has been no prosecutions. Owing to the above, I demand as follows, that the ESCC forthwith, in fact that should be their New Year's resolution, forwards the file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for prosecutions of all persons, whether public officials or private citizens, involved in the irregular award of contracts and payment amounting to 1 billion or more over the last 3 to 4 years. They have defrauded us through a garbage collectors system that is not working. They have paid unto themselves and reached themselves almost to a tune of R1 billion, whereas the county continues to remain dirty. The EACC, and why this is a very important one for me, recovers from the governor through direct or vicarious responsibility or liability his officers and other private individuals who are beneficiaries, all sums paid as a result of this irregular award. Corruption must be punished, because there is no way these levels of payments can go without the notice of governor. So whereas governors might not be signing to paperwork, but they are the chief accounting officer of the county, it is likely that in these procurement instruments, the contracts, that you will not find the governor's signature, but I do not believe anybody could have signed it without undue influence. So they must recover this money from the governor in person, either through direct or vicarious responsibility, his officers and private individuals who are beneficiaries, all sums paid as a result of this irregular award. 3, that upon commencement of the prosecution, all accounts and assets of persons involved in this criminality, be they private or public, be frozen or seized for the purposes of recovery of the said amount. If the war against corruption must be won, then we must wage it with candor and grit. The noose of prosecution and conviction must tighten around its perpetrators, regardless of affiliations, whether ethnic, mkaleta mambo ya ukabila wenu. Kenyans, when you start to prosecute their people, they say mtu yetu. Or political. People think they only see that on the other side. If a Jubilee person talks about what CORD is doing, a CORD person only sees what Jubilee is doing. So we are saying regardless of affiliations or any other affiliation or considerations, whether race, religion, or any other considerations. Number 2 is a separate subject. I say buyer beware. In legal terms, it's called caveat emptor. I have reliably learned that the county government of Mombasa intends to proceed with plans to sell off public housing estates in Mombasa. In fact,
all right, so that is Senator Hassan Omar giving a press conference in Mombasa. He is talking in regards to a range of issues in Mombasa County. One of the top issues that he's been commenting about for the last few minutes is that visitors who've gone to Mombasa for the holidays have complained that the county is filthy, that there's no garbage collection in the area. And he's asked that, he's saying that the county government irregularly awarded the contract to the contract of garbage collection to a company, and the process was not really clear. And therefore, we'll follow up on that story. We'll also try to get a response from the county government in our subsequent bulletins.